Took your time to get here, tell me what you want. I know what you're thinking, are we really on? Tell me how it feels and baby, come on. See you now coming, taking me on. Take me to the deep end, run and jump off. Tell me how it feels and baby, come on.
You guys think this is iVixey trying to lean into the OnlyFans content herself? Oh my god, scandalous. No, that's not what's happening. Hi. Hi everyone. Hey Clumsy. Hey, good to go now. Hey Riley. Hey Grim. How are you all doing? Hey Johnny. Well, hello Ruby. Good to see you. How's everyone doing? How do you guys feel about this time slot? Yesterday we did a stream like super late. Not intentional. Are you scamming? No! We did a whole goal on Ko-Fi. I'm not a scammer. We're gonna talk about other OnlyFans creators though. People that are not me. Hope you guys are doing good. I haven't decided if I wanna re-up the goal from yesterday. We'll see. We'll see. I would like to know if people want me to do more midweek episodes. You wanna see your content? Whose content? Mine? Mine is out there. Just not OnlyFans content. We're gonna be talking about Piper Rockelle. I keep confusing. I keep saying Rockettes and Rockelle. I don't know where I got the Rockette from. Hello, Belcora. Hey, Pet Stuff. Oh, ew, gross. Send a link, please. Piper Rockelle's favorite content? Oh, fan view. Wait, what? She just started like a month ago, right? Something like that? That's when she dropped her link? If you were to scam, OnlyFans would be the place to do it. People with weird expectations. True! I could just troll people and drop a link and then have it not be anything. It could be like ARC. What did we say earlier? Like ARC fans? Only ARC? You know? And just a bunch of robots? Humping each other? OF Fitness Nala. Dude, I don't know about this OnlyFans stuff at all. Like, even when it comes to influencers and YouTube personalities, and I don't know much about these people. So when I find someone like Piper Rockelle, I'm like, who is this? And then there's so much content about her that I just assume everybody else knows about her already. And then you guys surprise me by telling, no, I don't know who she is. And then it's even better because we get to find out together, you know? It should be fun. Let me get myself in pose-ish. I still need to know how you guys feel about this, this perspective, by the way. I think it looks cool, but it might not be the best. I don't know. You guys tell me. Hello, Captain. Hooray, time to learn together. Exactly. We can go through it together, and I can hear your first thoughts on it. It's perfect. It's awesome. Okay, so when the perspective is 100% intentional? Oh, this one from the video? Oh, 100%. Or you mean like the 3D? I've heard the name before, someone complaining on TikTok, but didn't care enough to go look her up. Now I'll learn. So the interesting thing is, right? When I'm gonna turn off the music. I had seen Piper Rockelle before on TikTok. When I saw her face, I was like, okay, I know who she is. But I never knew it went this deep. And yesterday, when we were talking about the OnlyFans house, that's when her name came up again, because it's controversial, the fact that when she was 17, she was already talking about entering an OnlyFans house, which is wild, right? And then the more I dig into it, holy crap, there's so much to uncover. When we found out yesterday that she was doing content when she was 15, dude, it started way earlier than that. She was literally a kid influencer. And she has like her biggest audience are kids. And so it's so wild to me to see like a kid influencer who has like that family dynamic. There's like videos of her in the tub with whoever, like being innocent, right? Nothing weird. And then becoming an OnlyFans content creator. Let's just say she used to be a dumb OF girl turned Christian blondie. Wait, oh, you mean the fitness Nala? That sounds interesting too, honestly. That sounds interesting. Piper was basically exploited by her mom, right? Since a child, and now since she's 18, she could have stopped, but now she's doing OnlyFans and posting in G-strings. And the thing is, right, if you look back at her content when she was 15, 16, 17, you can already see that the start of her like already getting people ready for the OnlyFans stuff, right? She was creating very sussy things for her age, which she shouldn't even be allowed to do on all these platforms. I don't know why we keep allowing this stuff, but then she would go live with her boyfriend, and they'd be like at a parking lot just talking kid stuff. So it's such a weird mix of like showing up and being way too adult, and then other videos where she's just being a kid, right? It's just. Anyway, so I found that there was this documentary on Netflix. If you guys want to go watch it, I think it's available since April of this year. And it's called Bad Influence, The Dark Side of Kidfluencing. There's a whole word for it. And so this started with not necessarily her alone having her channel. So she was being managed by her mom and also this other guy who lived in their house, who was only like 20 years old. And it's weird because they presented him as like her brother, but then we find out they're not related at all, and it's like her mom's boyfriend. It is wild stuff, okay? And then there's this whole squad of teenagers that they were managing. It wasn't just her alone. So, dude, I don't even know. There's so much to unpack. This is just a content creator, because we're not going to watch the documentary. Since it's on Netflix, right? We're going to watch like a guy react to it. This is what it's about.
Blacklisted. It's like a cult or something, like you can't get out.
It's a cult. Where have we heard that before?
I remember being so scared.
I didn't tell my mom.
You never know what's real and what's not.
It doesn't matter as long as it looks good. They can shut up and do it.
Just a They were not.
So like, you know, look, there's like those channels with like a bunch of pranks to kids and between kids and families, and I guess that's what the type of content
when
was.
you were the one getting pranked.
Why? I mean, it doesn't even make sense.
Eventually,
And a bunch of bad
the lines
acting.
get very blurred of what's real and what's a YouTube video.
Whenever Tiffany started doing the things to me and Reese, we saw her do it to Piper as well.
Tiffany would tell Piper that
Tiffany is Piper's mom.
wanting her money.
I just watched Netflix's entire new docuseries, Bad Influence,
Oh, I
The Dark
recognize
Side
him.
of Kidfluencing, so you don't have to. And if you
Thank
have
you.
already, or if you're going to, why don't you just stick around and let's have a little talk about it?
Let's
First
have
off,
a little
after
talk
watching
about
this
it.
entire docuseries, the parallels between this woman, Tiffany Smith, Piper Rockelle's mom, and Abby Lee Miller are just nuts. Like, they sound like the
I don't know who that is, but that looks like a mom that brings like her child to like the what are they called? What to those shows with like where they put makeup on these girls and they do the extensions on their hair, beauty pageants. Yeah, that always was such a wild culture to me. Like, we don't have those over here. Sure, there's like other weird stuff going on over here, but like we don't, like Honey Boo Boo, exactly. That was always a wild thing for me to see, like all these moms just putting a bunch of makeup on like 7, 8-year-olds. It's so awkward. And then there's a whole pageant where they're supposed to be like beautiful and show off their talents, and it's so creepy. Yes, 100%, 100%. Be nice. The way he talks is accepted. What do you, huh?
exact same person. All of their
Okay.
tactics
I
are
can't
like-
mock him for how he talks? Come on now.
Literally, like textbook, exactly the same. And one of my first questions is, why is this Brandon Stewart guy the host, or like the seeming host of this docuseries? Like, Brandon Stewart, it says on screen, he's the guy behind Brandon Studios. Brandon TV, ring a bell? This is Abby
No?
Lee Miller's #1 supporter. This is the guy that hosts
Oh.
Brandon TV, which is where Abby hosts her new Madhouse show.
It's
and
all
I'm pretty sure
connected.
she's hosting even more shows there. Like,
What,
they're the only
Madhouse?
platform that's willing to host Abby Lee Miller. So you coming on to a docuseries about the treatment of children seems a little sus, a little bit conflict
Yeah.
of interest-y. I'm pretty sure he was involved behind the scenes on this, like probably in production. I didn't look at the credits, but
That's
I
a
bet you
very
he
good
was.
point.
And honestly, the whole way that Piper's mom talked to Eliana from Dance Moms made me so sad, but
That should
we'll get
not be
into
the
all of
person
that in a
telling the
minute.
story,
So,
right?
First off, like I said, the documentary is called Bad Influence, The Dark Side of Kidfluencing, and it basically covers this entire story about this squad of kids and how they were treated by this woman. And then it goes into a deep dive about like children working in this unregulated space of social media, which I
Yeah.
did an entire like 40-minute documentary that I posted yesterday on that if you want to go check that out in more of a deep dive. But basically the docuseries opens up in 2024 in Las Vegas, Nevada on Patience, who is Tiffany's younger sister. So her family definitely is
Does he like purposely record the screen instead of like, because do you see that? He's like recording a screen with a camera instead of like recording it like on OBS. Like, why? Is this the only way that it's acceptable to show it? Like snippets? I'm pretty sure it's fine, right? If you do snippets, I'm not sure how that works, but it's just so weird to see it like
on
that.
Patience, who is Tiffany's younger sister. So her family definitely is heavily involved in this, not just kids in the squad, but also people in this documentary. They basically say that Piper's dad left Tiffany while Tiffany was pregnant with Piper, and that Tiffany started a pet
No dad presents. That can be a problem, guys. It can be a problem. Those daddy issues, they run deep, you know? I would know, okay? Cause my dad left too.
grooming business, and that's how she raised Piper. But obviously that's not the
Rough.
whole story, because by 3 years old already she was putting Piper in beauty pageants. So she didn't really raise
She was also a beauty pageant mom.
Piper off of this pet grooming money if she was already putting her in pageants at like 3 years old. They said that in the pageant world that Tiffany was like a hardcore stage mom and she would do anything to get first. And then kind of transitioning out of pageants, Piper started doing Musical.ly, which was like this giant platform at the time, and you weren't supposed to be on there unless you were 12 and over, but basically kids
What?
were dominating this entire
Yeah.
space, and every like 7 to 9 year old was on
It's a
Musical.ly.
pattern. pattern with her.
Musically later then turned into TikTok. They go over like a brief overview of just the general blow up of social media platforms in general and where kids content started and how there was like the Charlie Bit Me meme, and then after that there was kids content showing up on every single different social media platform, kind of alluding into how Piper Rockelle actually got started on YouTube.
So she started super early, not with the content per se, but being used for a show, right? So these kids, they don't have a normal childhood. They're constantly under pressure to perform in one way or another.
And how that space entirely opened up so people like Ryan Reviews Toys could become a super famous, successful YouTuber on this platform. So basically, Piper gets her big break in 2017, or what's called her big break, when she gets cast in this show called Dance Twins. And this is where we first really get a view of Tiffany being a super demanding stage mom, and that she really wants Piper to win. And honestly, she seems just like every other mom off of Dance Moms, just like a ruthless stage mom that needs their kid to be first. The first former squad member that we meet in this documentary is Corinne, and we find out that Corinne basically got invited to be in what would become the squad because she was invited to be one of Piper's backup dancers, and Piper was like the reigning queen of Musically allegedly at this time.
Can you imagine as a kid being put like all this pressure, and then you're like also the main leader of a squad, and you're basically like not just on the front row, you're like leading all these other kids, and you're like at the top of the, you know, can you imagine what that does to a kid? And then that comes with a bunch of money on top of it as well. So you live the life you want as a kid without any boundaries almost.
So they jumped at this opportunity. And at that point, they realized that both of their families lived in Georgia. So they were like, okay. And they started creating content together. But after seeing some initial success, that's when Piper and Tiffany were like, you know what? F it. We're going to move to Hollywood.
We're heading to the airport.
You want to go out into
Yo, how old was she there?
oncoming traffic? Tiffany and Piper grabbed their things and a couple of their cats and went to LA to pursue something bigger.
And at this point in the docuseries, we're
looks
introduced
so
to
young.
who Hunter is and how he was
This is going to be an interesting story. This Hunter guy.
on the vlog as like Piper's older brother.
In like a creepy way.
But in reality, he was like 19 or 20 years old and hooking up with Piper's mom and then becomes her boyfriend, or I don't know. It's this whole messy gray area. We don't understand whether this started as a relationship or like turned into a relationship. Who knows? But the interesting thing is that the other squad members say that Hunter was actually a bit of like a childish older brother, even off screen, not just on screen. So that whole dynamic is very odd, like very much not like a stepfather figure to Piper in any way. And I'm like, that's very odd considering that's who your mom is dating. The whole dynamic is just weird. And at this point in the docuseries, we basically segue into Piper getting this role on a show called Manny that was hosted by Brad.
It's weird because on the videos that we see, like the thumbnails with this Hunter guy, they present it to the audience as him being like a older brother to Piper. And we see Piper using that name, like brother, in the videos. So they present this whole narrative that is just a lie.
And that was basically like a television network ish that posted their TV shows to YouTube. Basically, Manny is just a play on words, like nanny. It was just a man that was the nanny.
Manny was about this nanny who was a man.
And this is where Sophie, who would later join the squad, actually ended up meeting Piper, and this is where Sophie comes into the docuseries.
Piper played a character named Sky on the show, and she was the preppy rich kid. We both did Manny for a while. There was the camp season.
And it was around 2018 where they brought in somebody else that got cast on this show, Manny.
And that's when Tiffany was essentially mad that another character
ended up having more lines on the show than Piper did. And
not her.
Tiffany like just totally lost it. She became completely unhinged.
Tiffany came to set.
Not another kid having more lines.
She was screaming all about the place. You're not gonna cut my daughter. She created this show. She was like, Sophie, you need to come with us.
And this is where Sophie saw firsthand that Tiffany was not mentally stable.
And I was like, I'm not gonna come with you because I'm being professional on a set. I don't believe in burning bridges.
And so apparently the producers
If
chased
only we
after
could let
her
kids
and
be
tried to
kids,
get her
right?
to stay, and it was this whole ordeal. Honestly, this whole thing sounds just like Dance Moms, even though it was a scripted TV show.
It started to get stressful. Tiffany was upset barely talking to me.
And then we meet Claire and Reese, who are apparently Piper's cousins, and they would later be members on the squad. They say that they knew Piper from
Cousins,
the squad,
brothers.
from watching her YouTube videos before they even knew that they were family members. So I don't know.
That's weird.
I don't understand that whole situation, but apparently they knew her from YouTube, but they were already cousins. And I guess this is because Patience, Tiffany's younger sister, says that after their parents got divorced, that Piper's mom, Tiffany, just got increasingly more aggressive, violent, unhinged, and so she wanted to distance herself from
what kind
her
of sticky
and completely
mess?
cut off contact. But then once she got together with her wife or her partner, I'm not sure, she's in a relationship with this other woman, and her partner, I guess, convinced her to try and have a healthy relationship and reach out and rekindle a relationship with her sister. So that's when she reached out to Tiffany, and that's how her two kids, Reese and Claire, ended up getting involved, working with the squad and being reconnected with Piper and Tiffany.
Drama.
And it was around this whole time.
I'll leave that to your imagination or go looking in the hub. Oh no.
You hit 1 million subscribers in a year and a half. That's insane.
I know.
So in Tiffany's
A
mind,
year and
the
a
whole
half.
premise was that she wanted to have a group of kids that was kind of like the dynamic that she saw off of the TV show Friends.
Like Friends, but for kids? That is just a messed up concept to begin with, isn't it? This is so weird. Oh no.
And she was like, if I have a person that fits into each one of these categories,
Valcora with the 5 gifted. Thank you so much. You got some cards. I appreciate you. Thank you, Valcora, for the support. Let's see who got them. We have Eric, we have Stephanie, we have Dana, we have Blessed, Tammy. Thank you. Thank you so much.
then it would be a good cohesive brand that kids are going to watch, and they'll be able to find somebody that they relate to in the squad. So it kind of sounded like a wholesome, good idea at first. This is how most TV shows
Wholesome,
are cast and
my
created.
ass.
So once they started getting all of this group of kids together, somebody called it the squad, and that's when Tiffany just decided to run with it, and it became...
And of course, Tiffany has to be leading the whole pack, right? Because she has to make sure that even if other kids are involved, her kid has to be the main one, right? This is how she guarantees that her kid gets the most attention.
like a formal business, I guess, and they were the squad. I don't know if you'd call them like a real squad.
I can imagine her having a lot of issues with the other parents. Wholesome my ass, there's a joke. No!
It was kind of like Friends, where Jennifer Aniston was clearly the star of the show, even if a lot of the other characters got pretty equal screen time. In the squad, it was very clear that Piper Rockelle was the star and the sun of that solar system. So
it turns out Tiffany, this mom, has apparently a lot of issues. I'm hoping that we're going to get into that as well, for sure. It's very interesting.
They kind of just started copying like the David Dobrik formula, if you've ever watched David Dobrik. I never really watched David Dobrik, but he had
I don't know these guys.
Squad, which was just a group of people that was there every single day creating content together, but David was the star of the group. So you just get rid of the vlog and you've got the squad, and that's what Piper Rockelle had just for kids.
They're mentally
As the kids started posting together, they
shouldn't
started
have
to
kids.
go viral, and then that led them to like a massive success. At one point, they were even the most famous like 11-year-olds on the planet.
Like, you know how sometimes they talk about like maybe in the future we should like control who can have kids and who can't, and which features we want in the world and which we don't, you know? And it's like this really awful controversial conversation because people don't want that control, right? But when you see these parents put these kids into the world, right? It sort of makes me think twice, like, oh, maybe there's something to it. Cat ears are a must. Everybody should have cat ears. Definitely a much needed feature.
Singer and YouTube star
And this is when Piper started releasing music.
Piper Rockelle is here to talk about her new song.
Is she any
She
good
released
at
her
singing?
first solo music video called Treat Myself. I actually just went to look it up, and it apparently has 39 million views, so that's not too bad. And at this point, Piper was getting massive brand deals with companies like Mattel, like the creators of Barbie, so that's like the top of the toy industry, and they clearly trusted her to be like a kid-fluencer, influencing children's decisions. So Tiffany clearly clearly knew who her audience was this whole time that she was treating these kids this way. But at this point, we're still in the very beginning, so they haven't really got into too much of what's actually happened and how dark and seedy it actually was working as a member of the squad.
That's the thing.
But at this point, this is when Tiffany
It's
first
sad, but
exposes
true.
how much money they were actually making online and how much money she was making from these YouTube videos. And up until this point, the kids that were working in the squad, they didn't even know that there was any money being made, and they're not getting paid. So Tiffany...
What? They're including these kids in videos and stuff, but they're not including them in the money? Whoa.
Tiffany is basically like, yeah, this is how much money I make, and you're just getting this deal to work for exposure, basically. So I'm teaching you how to do it. I'm giving you the followers, and now it's up to you to go make your money. I'm not going to pay you anything. But apparently Tiffany wasn't like the whole brains of the operation. I guess she was like the whole CEO of this company, you could say. But Hunter was the one that was the brains.
This is where we go into
YouTube and
Hunter.
SEO on YouTube and the analytics, and he...
Wonder if that's to avoid labor laws. I mean, that's the thing, right? A lot of this stuff is not controlled when it comes to online businesses like that. But this is where Hunter comes in. So we find out at some point that it's not the mom, even though, you know, she's on the screen a lot, and she's the one yelling a lot, most likely. And she's the one with the past with Piper, with the pageants, and putting her on shows and everything. But when it comes to the online stuff, Hunter is taking over, right? So we're gonna see how Hunter's involved.
He's the one that...
This is like a 19, 20-year-old that entered the family, presented himself as the older brother, and was actually dating the mom. It's so weird.
Understood how all of YouTube and the YouTube machine works and what to use to make sure that you get views and how to get retention and all of the important stuff that involved YouTube. But we also learned that because he is the brains and the head of the YouTube part of this whole operation, that when you sign on to the squad, you actually have to give Hunter your YouTube channel and your password and basically give him the entire control over your account. And this is the point that Sophie actually moves in with Piper. So Sophie and her mom and Piper and Tiffany were both living separately and just coming together every day to make content, I guess. But then they decided if they pooled their money together and moved in, that they could get this big Hollywood mansion and live together and have this content house. So in some demonic moment...
more freaking content houses! With kids? They're supposed to be focusing on going to school and playing video games, man. Oh, what are you doing to these kids?
Given from the overlords, they decided to move in and have a content house together where they could just exploit their kids together and under one
let's
big
exploit
happy
our
roof.
kids
And this
together
wasn't just any
in
mansion,
one
like,
house.
they were renting out a mansion in Hollywood Hills. So at this point, Sophie was only like 11 years old, and once they all moved in under one roof, that's when all of the squad started working like crazy, and they were working 11 a.m. to like 2 in the morning every day. Keep in mind, they were like 11 years old. And we're talking every single day of the week, 7 days a week, no breaks, no holidays, nothing like that. That's insane to me. And we talked about it at length, like I said in my last video, but there are still no regulations or anything in place about the work hours and the labor of children working in social media. It's a totally unregulated space. And
Grooming,
point, the
yeah,
squad
100%.
became like a full-on production company. This was no longer for fun or just filming their kids for fun. It was heavily directed, heavily produced, and it basically became like a working job for these kids every single day, day in and day out. They basically just did as they were told. They faked it for the camera, and everything was for the sake of the view. And we're not even adding school into the equation. Like, they're still legally supposed to be doing 6 hours of school every single day. Plus they're filming 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. Like in Hollywood, there are at least labor restrictions for babies, small children, teens, and how many hours you can legally work on set. But in social media, there's no rules. So you can literally just work your kid to the bone. And at this point, they started hoarding cats.
No,
I don't know,
not
super random
cats.
segue. It just goes from very serious conversation to, oh, and Tiffany's a cat hoarder. Sophie says they had 30 cats living in this house, I guess. And I'm honestly not even gonna lie, this was pretty much my childhood when I lived with my dad for a good 7 years. We had like 30 cats in our house, like 22 or something
that's too
like that
many.
at one point. And the cats were just giving birth to entire litters of kittens, and my dad was just letting us keep all of the kittens. Not recommending it. Definitely unhinged, but that was my childhood too. But the hoarding of the cats made me feel like, oh, this is probably like a dirty, gross house. But no, they actually made the kids stay up until like 2 or 3 in the morning bleaching the house.
It is much needed, Belcourt. It is much needed. This is the Wild West.
Every single day, apparently, they had to like bleach all of the counters, bleach the kitchen and the whole house. And there was days where the kids fell asleep at like 2 or 3 in the morning bleaching the tiles of the house. Like, it's not enough that you film all day from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. You also have to bleach the house until it's perfectly clean before you're allowed to go to bed. And then they talk about this character, Frank the Pug. Now, you could say character. It was basically just Tiffany being unhinged off camera, and you'll see the later that we get through this docuseries that she does this often, where she just like picks an animal and then narrates all of her unhinged thoughts that she normally wouldn't be able to get away with, but she's doing it as this animal character. But Frank is like an actual pug. She's just like holding the pug in frame and saying heinous things.
I'm gonna lick it. It's gonna lick it. I'm not gonna lick it.
She would have like a new accent for each animal, and they would be always like crude and like overly sexual and unhinged.
What?
And then we meet Gavin, who Tiffany was also completely unhinged to. But this is one of the worst points of this entire docuseries, in my opinion. I can't even say a lot of the stuff that she did to this boy, but
Tiffany would flirt with him. That was very weird. At this time, he's probably 12, 13. She would say, do you have a problem?
No.
Looking at me to Gavin.
But after Gavin and
What?
Gavin leaving, like, the squad became a revolving door at this point, just like Dance Moms. There were people coming in onto the team or the squad, and there were people leaving at the same time, like, dropping like flies. And Tiffany was unhinged level manipulative. Like, she had the kids' phone numbers and she'd be texting them herself and just ripping them apart. And once you're out of the squad, like, you're gone. You're blacklisted. You're not allowed to talk to them anymore. So Tiffany was getting these kids to blacklist and, like, kind of start a hate campaign towards anybody that left the squad. So it kind of was a threat to the people as well that were still in the squad, that this is what's going to happen to you if you try and leave the cult. They made it very clear that if you try and leave this squad, we will come after you and we will ruin you. And this is when we meet Reagan Beast, who you probably saw in a lot of the previews for this docuseries if you've been watching the previews. But Reagan is this trans guy that was the one that Tiffany was kissing on the live stream that we saw everywhere. Like, Tiffany was absolutely unhinged to him as well. So she seems to definitely have a pattern of being unhinged to these kids, but not even just boys. We'll hear later in the docuseries from other people, but we'll go way more in depth into Reagan's story in episode 2. But this is when the episode just ends and basically says that Hunter and Tiffany deny all of the allegations towards them and that they refuse to be a part of this documentary and they decline an interview. So I wanted to let you guys know that I have reopened up the Patreon. I will leave the link in for the Patreon as well.
Understand, but it's so complex.
There's a ton of plot holes in these testimonials from a lot of the moms, in my opinion, like specifically standing by and just being a complete victim of the situation.
That's the thing, right? All these moms have a lot to say when it's their time to be on camera, but when actually things were happening in front of them, they refuse to do anything about it, right?
Situation where I'm like, you had to have known a substantial amount of what was going on, even if you didn't know everything. And a lot of them are talking about how they were told they could get all these views or money, and then all of a sudden they're like, okay, we're in.
Exactly.
So the second episode of the docuseries opens up with Reagan Beast telling his story, and he said that he was 17 at the time of the infamous live stream that has been mentioned in the preview for this and all over social media for years at this point. And essentially, Tiffany grabbed him on this live stream. She kissed him. She throws him away. She grabs him. She kisses him again. And then Reagan said that he turned off the live stream because he already had like the foresight to know that this was wrong. And he went to bed that night worried that he just ruined his entire career. And
so this is the mom of the character Piper that we're talking about today, that we're so surprised or shocked by the fact that she is like getting herself ready at 17 to be part of an OnlyFans house, right? Well, I'm not so shocked anymore. Holy crap, this mom was getting her ready since like the age of what, 12? Talking to like the other kids involved in the squad, talking sexually to them as the mother is so insane. She grew up in that environment. of these kids being sexualized at a young age.
Then the next morning he woke up and the entire live stream was gone and it was erased from the entire internet. For obvious reasons, Tiffany obviously got the live stream pulled from the internet because she didn't want any evidence of this going out there. But before it was removed from the internet, this like blew up the entire internet. So everybody saw the live stream and everybody was talking about it. At this point, more and more
people gotta have recordings, right?
Coming forward and expressing and voicing their concerns with how their children have been treated in the squad. And then Gavin ends up leaving the squad. And this is over how he's treated in the squad, over the conditions, and overall just over things that Tiffany did that are way too explicit to mention here on YouTube. But they were definitely essay in my opinion, and Gavin ends up leaving and nobody talks about it. It's not addressed. Everybody's completely silent about it, and then Gavin eventually ends up posting a video to the internet explaining from him and his mom's side why they actually left the group. But after Gavin left, this is when they started doing castings because they had to find Piper an on-screen boyfriend because obviously Tiffany's formula needed Piper to have a boyfriend. Everybody needs to have some kind of love drama that's going on screen. And that's when Walker comes into the picture, and Walker is going to be Piper's new on-screen boyfriend. They also brought on a boy named Jensen who was going to be in an arranged relationship with this girl, Sophie. If you know Eliana has been dating this guy Jensen for years at this point, but Jensen was originally brought onto the squad in order to be a partner to this girl, Sophie. So essentially, Tiffany orchestrated all of this relationship drama for these teens to act out on camera, and then she started asking them a lot more invasive questions, again, teetering on essay in my opinion, and was asking them like, when are you gonna do more on screen than just kissing and stuff like that. At this point, randomly Ava from Dance Moms comes on to talk about her experience growing up in the spotlight and how she was thrust into the spotlight at 12 years old because of Dance Moms and basically got 100,000 followers overnight after her episodes aired on Dance Moms. Why she was included in this had nothing to do with the squad. I have no idea, but she's here. At this point, we learn that all of the kids that signed on to be in the squad were also supposed to be signing on with Hunter to give him 10% of their income, and so they already had to hand over their YouTube channel.
So at one point, they're not even being paid, but part of the squad, right? And then when they do finally get paid, he is owed 10% of all their earnings from their personal channels.
Hand over their YouTube channel passwords. They were also supposed to be paying him 10% of their income as if he was like a manager, and the squad members were also asked to like fire their own managers, but this wasn't mentioned in the docuseries. I just know this because Eliana came forward to talk about it in a different interview already. But at this point, some of these kids were making $50,000 a month from their ad revenue on YouTube, and he wanted his 10% cut. Obviously, Piper was making way more. It does,
doesn't it, Graham?
Up to like $500,000, $600,000 a month just in YouTube AdSense. And once the squad became super relevant, it was around this time that all of the brand deals started pouring in. And once the brand deals started pouring in, they definitely encouraged the kids to be a lot more provocative on screen with how they dress. And if you were to dress super provocative and wear a specific piece of clothing, then you were going to get featured in the thumbnail, which was going to be seen by millions of.
Holy crap, this just reminds me of like my ex used to work as a football coach, and this feels exactly like that, right? Some of the kids, they have to perform, otherwise they're not going to be picked for the team on the you know, the games that matter. And that's the same sort of situation, but with like YouTube content. Isn't that so crazy? Being featured in a thumbnail? The more provocative you wear, the more likely it is that you're gonna be featured in a thumbnail because, you know, clicks matter. Holy crap, imagine that pressure as a kid.
They were encouraging them to do this, and there was definitely like a cookie that was hanging over them. If they did do that and they did act accordingly, they were going to be rewarded. Apparently, Tiffany was telling them to keep it sexy and make it sexy, and a lot more other terms and things that I cannot, again, say here on YouTube. And this is when things get very dark. They start talking about this character named Megan. And this Megan, they are alluding at first that Megan is like a woman that is online, that is a big super fan of Piper. But we learn later that Megan is a creepy old man that goes under this alias of Megan, who has social media and pretends to be a super fan.
Yo! Them alt accounts, guys! Them alt accounts! I bet if you looked into the watch demographics, it's mostly men. Oh, for sure, Belcora. Oh no.
Fan of Piper, like from all the way back to being a really young kid. And this Megan sends them gifts like MacBooks and iPhones and cameras, camera
so
lenses,
creepy.
hoverboards, like all different sorts of gifts. And this isn't just for free. Piper's mom was actually sending photographs.
No! 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 No, 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 no! Stop.
And other illicit items and undergarments to this
No,
Megan person
no.
in exchange for all of these lavish gifts. And one day, the mom of a squad member, Corinne, was approached by this Megan online, to which she responded by blocking them, but it encouraged her to reach out to Tiffany and confront her about it, to which Tiffany just shrugged it off as if it was no big deal. Tiffany knew what was going on the entire time. Then there's a portion of the episode that goes into, let's just say, creepy old men and much darker topics than we can discuss here on YouTube, but you can use your imagination to fill it in. To me, Piper's life seems like she's completely trapped and boxed in. She didn't want to film anymore. She wanted to go back to Georgia. None of her friends in her life were actually real friends. They were all just like paid employees, paid yes men. And I feel like it would have been so confusing trying to differentiate between what was real life and what was just for YouTube, especially when it's this revolving door, when the people in your life are only there because of YouTube, and if they leave you have to blacklist them and cut off all contact. So really your entire life is
You have no control over your own social network as a kid.
just YouTube. And if it wasn't already crazy intense having that 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. workload, their workload got even more intense. They were working even more, not just working more hours, but they were creating more videos per week. It basically got to the point that all of the squad members had to be completely ready and like makeup ready, hair done, ready to film at any given point at the drop of a hat, to just be ready at all the time, to work at all times. And the squad actually became much larger and more active and busy during COVID, but because it was during COVID, they became completely isolated because they had to just work to just that one group.
Right, it's even worse during COVID.
Which they say that a bunch of the moms were saying just seemed normal at the time. Like it was just a clique. A lot of people just hang out with one group of people, but because they were so isolated, it definitely became more like a cult. At this point, the Brandon TV guy, Brandon Stewart, is back on screen, and he's talking about how much of Piper Rockelle's engagement, like her likes, comments, shares, all of that, subscribers, were all bots and bot accounts. And then he goes on to say that this is completely standard in the industry and that everybody does it. And I kind of
Is he completely dismissing the fact that that's like... What? Everybody does it. Everybody bots. It's how you get famous. What?
disagree. This seems like a slightly inflated statement, to say the least, because if you were to do that on YouTube here or any other social media platform, like, the platforms can tell when you're buying likes, buying followers, any of that, and it's going to kill your engagement. And for a lot of people, it like completely shadow bans you. So I would not agree that everybody in the industry is doing that. That's like the quickest way to tank your channel. I know corporations are doing that, and like record labels do that to boost numbers when it comes to music videos and stuff, but that's different than being a regular creator, because these music videos, these aren't creators that are posting all the time. They're only coming to YouTube to post when they have a music video. If a regular creator does that, it's going to like completely kill all of their...
The platforms definitely know that. That's why my channel failed. Stop using bots. Good to go now. Oh my god.
organic,
You should know
natural
better.
engagement. At this point, they start talking about this one situation where they encouraged the one guy to take off his shirt and to be shirtless for a thumbnail, and then asked the one girl to show her bra for the thumbnail as well. And keep in mind the age of these performers. Now, these were supposed to be like prank videos, and everything that was done in them was like under the umbrella of being a prank.
Eventually, the lines get very blurred of what's real and what's a YouTube video.
Right now, and hug Jenna and Claire. Claire has tears in her eyes, yo.
You never know what's real and what's not.
But in reality, the videos just kept getting more.
Especially kids, right? They struggle even more to understand what's real and what's not, and they mix things all the time. Like, if you force, like, two kids to be a couple for the screen, how do they deal with all those emotions when the camera is off? And I bet there's absolutely no, like, therapy, psychological help to deal with all these things going on in their heads as teenagers, right? This reminds me of that Nickelodeon documentary about Dan Schneider. What is that about?
More and more unhinged with the content, and everything was done just to get shock value at any cost. Like, they would do anything just for the view. Like, they filmed this one prank where they had Piper like fake breaking a leg and rented an ambulance and everything, and people were traumatized over it. They had this one guy getting fake arrested, and none of the kids knew, and multiple of them believed that it was actually happening and are like bawling their eyes out and traumatized over it. And when the moms tried to talk to Tiffany about these situations and how this wasn't right for their kids' mental health, she just absolutely was not having it. Didn't want to hear it. And if Tiffany's behavior wasn't crazy enough already, it was around this point when the stress just became way too much for her, and her behavior became even more unhinged. Like, Tiffany started personally gaslighting the kids in the squad, and she was texting their own personal cell phone numbers and like berating them, and she was brainwashing them into protecting her when CPS came to the house, and getting the kids to lie on her behalf and stuff like that.
Traumatizing poor kids. Because we were their moms. We were supposed to protect them, and we didn't. We couldn't. We didn't know.
Now, I don't know how I feel about Sophie's.
We didn't know. We were supposed to protect the kids, but we didn't know. Aren't you supposed to know?
Mom
lady?
Never taking her and leaving. She cries about it in the documentary.
Yeah, of course you would cry. It looks good.
But I'm like, you just kind of sat by and watched this for years and years and years and didn't take your daughter and leave. She just says she felt bad for Piper and yada yada yada. But it just reminds me of the dance moms. And if you thought your kids were being treated so poorly, whether there was a contract or not, why did you not take them and leave?
Yeah.
My mom didn't know anything about the sexual things Tiffany was trying to do towards me or any of that. I didn't tell my mom. None of us did. Claire didn't tell her mom.
But weren't you seeing the content though? Your kids are not telling you everything. That is a normal thing that happens. Your kids are not going to tell you everything, but you have to be on top of it. Why aren't you watching the content? Why aren't you seeing the position that mom is putting your daughter in? That's not an excuse. She didn't know because the kid didn't talk to you. Yeah, that happens all the time. Teenagers are not upfront about the things that are happening in their lives.
More and more unhinged, and it was at this point that Sophie eventually blew up on her, and she was basically banned from working for 2 weeks. And her mom was told that if Sophie wants to come back to work, that she needs to give up her parental rights to Tiffany for Sophie. So for obvious reasons, she did not give up her parental rights to her child. So Sophie had to leave the squad and was completely blacklisted, and everybody cut off all contact with her. And it was during this period that the squad members just continued to drop like flies. The saddest part to me in this is that Piper is obviously the hugest victim of this entire situation. All of your friends that you have in life are paid employees. And once your friends do anything wrong by your mom's terms, they're kicked out and you're forced to blacklist them and have no contact with them ever again. So the only people that are allowed to be in your life in your age group are all going to be paid employees, and you have no idea when they're just going to exit your life, and you're never going to be allowed to talk to them ever again.
After the lawsuit was filed, Tiffany was...
What does that do to...
These were just mean, evil people wanting her money, wanting to ruin her reputation. And Piper, I think, definitely seemed to believe that they never really liked her. Piper would now share that with people if asked about the lawsuit. Whatever Tiffany said, Piper engraved into her brain, and that's all she can think of now. Programmed that way now.
And it was not just Sophie that she wanted to get the parental rights of. She also was encouraging Jensen to get emancipated from his parents. And it was at this point that his mom couldn't get him out of the squad. So she eventually filed for divorce from her husband so that she could try and get custody and pull her son out of the squad. And that was basically it for episode 2 in a nutshell. And now we are on to episode 3 of the docuseries.
I feel like this wouldn't be happening to my family.
After we filed our lawsuit in early 2022, YouTube demonetized Piper's account. Basically, she could still post, but she wouldn't be able to make any money for it. So her revenue from YouTube went from $5,000 a month.
Zero.
So in episode 3 of Bad Influence, the dark side of kidfluencing, this one is called #unfollow, and this is essentially when all of the cover-ups start happening, or when Piper is basically starting to be instrumental in the cover-ups to support her mom. We see her crying on screen, protecting her mom and saying how she feels so bad for her mom and everything that her mom has had to go through. We also hear former squad members talking about how whenever there was some kind of big upset, that Piper's mom would take Piper and go for like a really, really long drive, and then she would come back and Piper would just go directly up to her room. Nobody knew what happened on these drives. But there's this one video that goes up on YouTube, and it's Piper and Eliana and 2 more members, and essentially they're going through a list of everybody that's left the squad, and she's addressing how everybody that leaves the squad says it's because it's toxic and blames her mom, but in reality that they're the toxic ones. And then she goes through on her phone and shows her like deleting and blocking everybody that was a former squad member on Instagram. So basically just encouraging the viewers to do the same thing, because she knows it's kids that are watching this and they're going to be encouraged by the same behavior that they're seeing on screen, so they're going to go do the same thing. So it's basically like revenge, and that's what starts this whole bullying campaign against all the previous squad members, and that's what this whole episode is going to be about. So it's kind of interesting what they allege had happened, especially on the back end with social media, but we'll get into that. Then they start talking about how Piper's mom, Tiffany, uses Piper's Instagram account and other social media accounts to talk trash basically about everybody, but specifically 2 kids as well. And we talked about this in other Piper Rockelle videos here on my channel, where we were covering a bunch of DMs that were leaked that Piper's mom sent to a bunch of other people from Piper's account. She's always pretending to be Piper when she's sending these messages, but it's clear that they're all coming from Tiffany. Then they go on to accuse Tiffany and Hunter for destroying people's channels once they leave the squad, and I don't know how much I believe about this. I feel like I would need to see more evidence to form a real opinion, but I honestly don't personally believe that this is a thing. But basically what they were alleging is that their channels would tank as soon as they left the group, before it even went public and before people had even heard about it. So that's why they have this suspicion that it was Tiffany and Hunter, or at least they allege that that's when their channels tanked. And then they said,
what are they exactly thinking happened? Like, Hunter and Tiffany went to the big YouTube guys and have power over them in some way?
That they found their channels linked and embedded in other websites where basically adults...
Or like mass reporting?
...to look at adult content, we'll say, and that if YouTube sees that on the back end, that it's going to start shadow banning your channel.
Right.
And that's what they allege happened.
Okay.
I don't know how much about that
Okay, so maybe this was happening like when they still had access to the back end, and they were actually making it look like a bad channel so that YouTube would shadow ban them.
believe. I guess that could be the case, but what I think is more than likely is if they were actually inflating Piper's numbers with bots and all of her engagement with bots, that they were probably also paying to inflate all of the channels of the people that were in the squad to make their channels look successful. So all of the success and engagement that they were seeing may not
that sounds
have been actually
possible
real,
too.
but the second that they left the squad, they stopped
Those
paying
bots,
for this artificial engagement of all of these likes and shares and views. And that's what my theory is what actually happened. It would be pretty extensive to go pay, or however you would get your channel or get these kids' channels embedded in these sites outside of YouTube. I don't know how you would even go about doing that. A lot of this episode is just a lot more expletive than I can talk about here on YouTube. It's a lot more explicit. There's lots of talk about SA and a lot of graphic details about things that happened to the girls that were in the squad by Tiffany while they were staying at her house, and things that she did to the boys in the squad, and it basically seems to be to everybody. But essentially in this episode, they break down everything that all of the 11 former squad members talked about in their lawsuit towards Tiffany, and that's where they go into all of these details that I can't talk about in so much detail. But if you want to watch the documentary on Netflix or the docuseries, then you can hear all the details there. I'm just not going to personally mention them here on my channel. But the kids are mourning their younger selves and everything that they went through. The parents allege...
So it's probably getting like he's choosing not to go into it. Even he's choosing to not even mention it like lightly. He doesn't have to be explicit. He doesn't even mention it at all. So it could be really bad. And it could be happening in front of the other kids. Like, it can be really bad. It sounds bad.
That it wasn't until this lawsuit that all of the dark, seedy stuff that was happening behind the scenes actually came forward, and that the kids were too afraid to speak up about it or something. I'm not sure how much of that I believe, especially when the kids are getting text messages from this mom. Like, as a parent, shouldn't you be checking on your child's phone, especially when they're like 12 years old? But after this lawsuit, that's when things start crumbling apart for the Piper Rockelle empire. Like, they start losing brand deals left, right, and center. Her YouTube channel gets demonetized.
I guess there's probably a thing as well. Like, if you're a mom of one of these kids in this cult, right? You could choose to try to understand what's going on with your kids. But you can also choose to purposely not participate in it because you're scared that if you find something, you have to do something about it, and then you lose access to all that money that's coming in, right? And all the success that's coming in. So the more you sort of like avoid it and be like, oh, I'm sure it's fine, we trust these people with our kids, right? The more you avoid it, the more you avoid accountability as well.
Because YouTube reserves the right to demonetize any channel if you are in like external media or anything that's going to be bringing negative attention towards the platform.
Right.
And this usually only happens to like the biggest YouTube scandals in all time, like Logan Paul. So for that to have happened to Piper is crazy, but that happened to her channel.
I feel like this wouldn't be happening to my kids.
After we filed our lawsuit in early 2022, YouTube demonetized Piper's account. Basically, she could still post, but she wouldn't be able to make any money for it. So her revenue from YouTube went from $500,000-$600,000 a month to zero.
So she basically went from $600,000 a month in ad revenue and just AdSense alone to zero, plus lost all of the brand deals. And Piper's mom, that's when Tiffany basically started to pivot and figure out other ways that she was going to be able to make money off of Piper.
That's a huge loss, right? Like, sometimes if a big thing happens and you lose subscribers, then, you know, you still have your ad revenue maybe cut in half or something. But no, they went from $600,000 a month to zero a month because it was just the whole channel was demonetized. Imagine how bad it must have been in order for it to get demonetized.
Like what we talked about in my last video where I was talking about how all of the mommy vloggers and stuff just started to pivot once the COPPA Act was enabled here on YouTube. So it was during this diversification period that Piper started posting heavily on Snapchat because there's no comment section on Snapchat, so it's like less regulated, I guess, and they can just continue doing the same things that they were doing over there. And they also talk about brand army and essentially
Yeah, I was never part of this like Snapchat monetization thing. For me, Snapchat was always like a free platform. I think someone told me about this like the past few weeks or something. I didn't know you could monetize your content there.
Actually, brand army we've talked about here on this channel as well with Piper.
It seems to have been like the more shady stuff too.
Is a website that is for people that are like 18 plus, but you go onto this website and it's kind of like OF in that you go on and you buy materials from these people. So it's basically a kid's version of OF that they're hosting where they have child influencers selling stuff on here, but it's only adults that are actually accessing the website to purchase.
What?
purchase anything. Why a website like this is even able to exist is highly questionable. Then the moms of the former squad members say because of the lawsuit, every single mom was contacted by the FBI and they did a thorough investigation, but they hadn't heard anything about it ever since.
That's the last I heard from the FBI agent, and that's the last I heard from the detective. So I don't know.
But basically they told them that they won't try a case unless they basically know it's a for sure win. So they haven't heard anything back from the FBI, but it kind of leads them to believe that there was no surefire evidence to support a case for them.
Lawmakers are often 70 to 80 years old. They don't take this world seriously at all. They still treat this industry as a joke. The government has absolutely no appetite to implement any sort of meaningful regulations on this industry. They make fun of it. They mock it.
The rest of this episode talks about some more things, like I said, in graphic detail that I can't talk about here in my video, but mostly to do with SA. And then they talk a lot about government legislation around social media and social media for kids, and just a lot of things that we covered in the last video that I posted about kids working in social media and how there's no regulation and legislation, and that the more that we talk about this, that the more things are finally starting to be heard and at least lawmakers are listening. But if you're interested in that topic, I'll leave my last video in the pinned comment where we were discussing what is the future for kids in entertainment, specifically on social media. Is there going to be laws, or there going to be things like the Coon Act enabled for kids for social media entertainment? Because
okay, so that is the Netflix documentary series. That's interesting. I thought this one was interesting. So this one, the title of this video is Piper Rockelle reveals how her mother's boyfriend abused her, and this is where we sort of find out that this Hunter character that was living with them was not a big brother at all, which was just such a wild narrative to me. Hey Doze, how you doing?
I'm trying not to laugh here, okay?
And this is where I saw like exactly how young she started as well.
Come on.
And
We're gonna show you game mode. That's all you have to say.
Alright, now
So that voice that you hear talking to her is Hunter. So he was basically directing her the content, right?
now we're gonna show you. Now we're gonna show you.
Hey.
Piper didn't directly do anything to me. She's a victim. But with that being said, there's a lot of bad memories that come from that and come from, you know what I mean? And that's like at the end of the day, her mom, like that's blood. So I'm not gonna, even mess with that.
So, Piper Rockelle just revealed the truth, and it's worse than anyone thought. Her mom's boyfriend, Hunter Hill, the same guy fans were told was her big brother, wasn't just hanging around to help with YouTube. He was living in her house, filming her nonstop, and according to leaks and people close to Piper, crossing lines no one expected. For years,
them in the bath together.
Everyone focused on Tiffany Smith mistreating the other squad kids. The lawsuits, the Netflix doc, Sophie Fergie, and Gavin Magnus telling their stories, we've heard it all. But Piper, the one who lived there full time, she was right in the middle of it, with no way to leave, even as the people running her career were the ones hurting her. And now, with Hunter suddenly disappearing from her channel, Tiffany facing a $1.85 million settlement, and Piper dropping cryptic posts about telling her truth soon, fans are asking the question nobody wanted to touch. Was Piper not only caught up in this mess, but the very first victim? And to make it worse, Piper herself has been teasing what's coming. Just look at this post where she hints she's finally ready to talk after years of silence.
Silence is my trade. Shut up. Lockjaw.
This is where it all starts. For years, the internet knew Hunter Hill as Piper's big brother. He popped up in videos, squad thumbnails, skits, always framed as a goofy, protective sibling figure who kept Piper safe while Tiffany ran the business. But behind the scenes, Hunter wasn't her brother. He was Tiffany's boyfriend, a 20-year-old man living under the same roof as a teenage girl, filming her and her friends every single day while millions of viewers thought he was just family. That brother story wasn't just bad branding. It was calculated. Plus, it normalized Hunter's constant presence. Nobody questioned why he was around 24/7 or why he was in the middle of every single squad shoot and decision. Here's how Tiffany sold the lie, and watch how Hunter is introduced as her brother, even as he's clearly an adult running the set.
I can imagine Belcora. Like I've seen you mention it a few times, and I'm like, holy crap! I can't even begin to understand what that's like.
My sister Piper. I have a brother from the same dad that I do not know. Because I love pranking my brother.
And when parents of other squad kids started whispering about how strange it was, Tiffany brushed it off. The big brother narrative made Hunter look harmless, and more importantly, it kept the money coming in. Now with lawsuits, leaks, and Netflix's Bad Influence documentary pulling back the curtain, fans see that role for what it was: a setup. A way for Hunter to embed himself into Piper's life without raising alarms. And once Hunter had that role secured,
you think he's subscribed to her OnlyFans now? Oh God, it's so nasty!
the control he had over Piper didn't just stop at living in the same house. He controlled Piper's entire career, and that made him impossible to escape. Former squad members revealed Hunter had the passwords to every channel, including Piper's. He controlled uploads, edits, schedules, and even who got featured in what videos. If you wanted to be in the squad, you had to go through Hunter. For Piper, that meant every move, personal and professional, had to be approved by him. If she wanted a break, he could stall her uploads and risk tanking her momentum. If she disagreed on a video, he had the final say on what went live. And to really see how deep his control went, just look at this clip. It's Hunter and Piper out in public, and notice who's behind the camera directing every moment, even when the cameras are supposed to be off.
I used to ball in high school, played in Australia, you know, okay, overseas.
I like that. You can shoot?
I can pass, but I can shoot too. Yeah.
I don't know. He doesn't have too much height. Are you sure you know?
Hey, us short guys, we can ball, right?
Hard over height. That's what I always say. Best out of 5 competition. You just got to beat somebody that I'm going to pick. Is that cool?
You?
It's not me.
Who's the biggest man?
It's somebody a little smaller than me.
I don't know. I got the handles, dog. I don't know.
You got the handles?
I got the handles.
Oh, you're going to love this guy.
And y'all, even the parents knew. They didn't like how much control Hunter had, but they kept quiet because his edits were keeping their kids' channels booming. They chose views over pulling their kids out. For Piper, that control meant Hunter wasn't just her cameraman. He was her editor, her gatekeeper, and her mom's partner.
Was that her?
There was out. For Piper, that control meant Hunter wasn't just her.
Is that her? Did it start out that young?
Her cameraman. He was her editor, her gatekeeper, and her mom's partner all at once. There was no separating her career from him and no way to escape his influence. And as much power as that gave him behind the scenes, what Hunter and Tiffany did with Piper on camera is what made fans start to question everything. Because for years, Piper's channel leaned on crush challenges, fake dating skits, and thumbnails that made her an underage.
She is still doing these. Like yesterday when we were looking into the OnlyFans house content, we found like a Piper Rockelle video of her like dating, blind dating these 6 guys, right? So she's still leaning into all that content.
Each person look older and more flirty than she was. And every single time, Hunter was behind the camera, directing the shots, approving the outfits, and editing the
Found his Instagram, lots of comments on his last post saying he belongs in jail. Wow.
Final videos for millions to see. The other parents even said it. Hunter had control over every edit, and Tiffany, she didn't care because those videos were the ones raking in the views and the brand deals. Money first, kids second. And these are the kinds of videos he was directing. Piper, still underage, styled and posed like this for views.
Got it. Okay, we got that. Get in character! Get in character! Okay. I need the photo. Perfect.
30 seconds.
Okay.
Let's go.
And then it's a little bit more of a smurf. Okay, you guys are actually nailing this.
3, 2, 1.
Got it!
Fans had had already been uneasy, but one comment from a bad influence reaction thread summed up the discomfort. Also, am I the only one that found it weird there were installed cameras in the bathrooms and bedrooms? Even if Tiffany called them security cameras, the fact viewers even noticed shows how far things had gone. Even private spaces didn't feel private. And if you thought Hunter's control was bad, Tiffany's behavior toward Piper made it worse. Since Piper was 9, Tiffany had been pushing her into content that crossed various lines. She bragged about being a pimp of YouTube and even joked that she made kiddie adult videos. Piper's early uploads bath challenges, where Tiffany had her, a literal child, covered in maple syrup.
Oh, she was 9?
And other substances.
Dude, and she knew exactly what she was doing, too. She knew exactly who she was catering for.
For clicks. And if you need a reminder of just how far Tiffany pushed it, here's one of those videos that is still floating around.
So nice. It's on your nose. Oh! Turd.
What am I saying? Afros.
You have to develop it before you put it on.
Oh, for sure.
That's a nice afro. Let's see. Okay, ready?
By 13, Piper had 8 million subscribers, pulling in as much as $625,000 a month. But Tiffany's tactics didn't stop there. One squad mom even said Tiffany asked her to mail Piper's soiled training bras to older men who liked to smell this stuff. Another squad member said Tiffany made gross comments about her body and even tried to touch her in ways that no adult should. Before anyone thinks that these were just random moments, the Netflix doc actually featured one of the former squad members, Clementine Leah Spicer, talking about why she left. She was only 13 at the time, and what Tiffany tried to push on her shows exactly how far things went behind the scenes.
My mom and I felt pressured and uncomfortable by Piper's team to do some of the things. For example, they tried to put me in a left triangle with a boy I didn't know, and I was gonna be that girl that has to fight over a boy with another girl, and it was just gonna be a competition to be with a boy, and it was just like really dumb. And I'm only 13. I don't think I should fake a relationship this early. Like, who wants to go through that?
These weren't one-offs. This was Tiffany's blueprint. Stage fake teen drama, exploit Piper's image, and keep the millions flowing. And this wasn't just about shock value. This was Tiffany's entire playbook, making Piper the face of staged teen drama, risky thumbnails, and crush content, all while building an audience Tiffany could cash in on the second Piper was legal. That's why now, at 17, fans think Tiffany is just counting down the days. One viral comment said it best: Piper turns 18 next month, and mark my words, there will most likely be a link the same day or a day after. And when you see where Tiffany already has Piper posting on platforms like Brand Army, basically OF without nudity, and teaming up with Bop House creators, it doesn't sound so far-fetched. To see what we're talking about, here is a quick look at one of those collabs that's been circulating online.
Just so you guys understand, like the girls from the Bop House were collabing with the 17-year-old way before she turned 18. And already like advertising the potential of her joining the house, right? So just like.
And as bad as that sounds, what Tiffany and Hunter did during squad filming made things even darker, because they weren't just exploiting the squad members, they were breaking them down for views. If Tiffany's creepy Lenny the dead cat alter ego sounded bad, hearing how it was used is worse. Ex-squad members said Tiffany would use Lenny, this mocking, cartoonish voice, to humiliate the kids during filming. She would make adult-leaning jokes, tear down their looks, jokes and turn their insecurities into funny moments for the channel. This is what ex-squad members were talking about. Tiffany using her Lenny voice to embarrass the kids while Hunter keeps rolling.
She said in Lenny's voice, Tiffany said in Lenny's voice, she said, "Wait, Reese, don't go." And I was like, I'm getting out of here. Like, I want to leave. I want to get out. And she grabbed me, I don't know, by my waist or like my legs or like my throat or whatever, I don't remember. But she grabbed me. So I ran to her bathroom. I locked myself in there. And I was just sitting there. And then she said, Tiffany said in Lenny's voice, "Reese, I have my pants down. Do you want to come look?" And I said no.
And who was always there?
And I said no.
Wait.
Tiffany said in Lenny's voice, "Reese, I have my pants down. Do you want to come look?" And I said no.
And who was always there, recording it, laughing along, and leaving those moments in the edits because they boosted engagement? Hunter. He never stepped in to stop Tiffany. He didn't cut those moments from the videos. He let it all play out like it was normal. And Piper, even as Tiffany's own daughter, wasn't spared. She got mocked and humiliated in front of her friends, treated like just another prop for content instead of as a person. Here's one example that viewers still bring up because you can literally see how uncomfortable she looks.
Piper, are you almost ready? It's 4:45. Okay. What are you doing? Trying my settings right. And you want to step off my arm real quick? You're a mess.
And the control didn't stop when the cameras turned off because what Tiffany and Hunter did to keep Piper locked into the system was even darker. Former squad members said Piper often cried off camera, begging to stop filming. But whenever she tried to slow down, Tiffany and Hunter made it clear quitting was not an option. Some said Tiffany threatened to cut Piper off financially if she slowed down, while Hunter warned she would be replaced by another squad star at any moment. Others said that Piper was forced to stay in content houses even when she didn't want to, just to keep Tiffany's empire running. She was cut off from her old friends, surrounded only by squad members who were just as dependent on Tiffany and Hunter for their careers. Ex-squad members like Sophie Fergie have talked about how when they were actually real friends with Piper before all of this started getting dark. So when they say these things really happened, it's not just coming from random outsiders. It's from people who knew her before the exploitation started. Here's a moment from an interview where Sophie talks about how genuine their friendship was even before she was ever on camera.
So were you and Piper true friends off camera?
Yes, like I would say like we were very locked in. Like
hey, Ruby.
I honestly didn't care to be in videos. Like that wasn't like my thing.
Yeah.
But like the first video I did, she actually asked me to be in the video, and I was like, okay. Like I wasn't really into it. Like you can watch the first video. I'm shy.
And it's not just what the squad members are saying now. Fans have been digging through Piper's old vlogs, and when you really look at some of those clips, it's hard to ignore how exhausted she seems. In video after video, even the ones that were supposed to be fun, Piper looks completely drained. Like she's just going through the motions because she has to, not because she wants to.
I'm sorry, yeah. Just thinking about that first thing someone said.
The thing is, I mean, obviously, like as a teenager, how is she going to know how to deal with all those emotions? It's too much.
And that's where the whispers about what really happened between Piper and Hunter start to make sense. Because his sudden disappearance from her channel, fans say it's not just a coincidence. And here's what makes people furious. The parents weren't clueless. Even if they weren't on set every day, they saw enough. And here's one moment where a couple of squad moms explain just how powerless they felt and how horrified they were watching all of this happen to their kids.
We didn't know a lot of the things that
oh my God,
were going
please.
on. We weren't allowed to be there.
These two former squad moms.
We weren't allowed to be there, but you have control over what you do with your daughter. You can choose to leave.
Say they're really upset.
I'm mortified by what she's done.
I wasn't allowed to be there, but I took her, you know, I drove her over there the next day, so... But I wasn't allowed to be there.
To other children.
And still, they didn't pull their kids out. Why?
Right.
Because those squad videos were pulling in millions. The checks were clearing. And the fans, they are not holding back. One comment under the doc literally says, anyone under 18 shouldn't even be allowed to be influencers. These parents need to be jailed. Totally
100%.
inappropriate. And honestly, they are not wrong. But Piper didn't even have parents on her side. Tiffany was the one running the machine. Hunter was the one enforcing it. And with no one to protect her, Piper became the one kid who couldn't leave, even as everyone else slowly found their way out. And even now, with all of this out in the open, Piper still won't turn on Tiffany, which fans say proves this isn't just loyalty. It's something deeper and way more complicated. And get this, Piper literally told Rolling Stone the other kids are stretching the truth and then straight up admits she's scared they might take Tiffany away. Y'all, that is not loyalty. That is someone who doesn't even feel safe speaking honestly. Fans don't see it as loyalty. They see it as trauma bonding. When your abuser is also your caretaker, your paycheck, and your only family, you don't just stay silent. You defend them, because losing them feels even scarier than the itself. Piper is still...
It's really hard. Like, she just turned 18 for her to even realize the extent of what her mom has done, you know? That was the norm for her. Like, layers of brainwashing, grooming, and God knows exactly. She needs a lot of more time and, like, therapy or whatever it may be for her to realize exactly the extent of what her mom has done to her life, to the lives of other kids. Like, she's too young to understand.
Only 17.
Who is Piper? Piper is this girl that we're looking into. She's the main character of the story. She was a kid influencer, very much managed by her mother and other figures in her life. And she recently turned 18 and she dropped her OnlyFans link. And there's just a lot going on with this person. Hey, Jax.
If Tiffany goes down, Piper doesn't just lose her mom. She loses her brand, her income, and the only life she's ever known. So even as the walls close in, she is standing by Tiffany, not because nothing happened, but because she doesn't know who she is without her. Either way, the countdown is on, and if Piper finally breaks, it's not just Tiffany's empire that burns. Everyone who let this slide goes down with her.
Yeah. That's still the norm, just over 100%. Like, a bunch of, like, since there's no rules on the internet, all these parents are definitely, like exploiting their kids. And it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Let's see. I want to show you guys, like, this is the type of content that she makes. She has 2 channels as far as I can tell. She has Piper Live, which has less subscriptions, but she has where she goes live, right? And then she has this other channel where she has videos. But the last one that she posted was, like, I think 3 months ago. Wait, 1 year ago. So this channel's, like, not a thing anymore. And then she did post a video, a live stream 3 months ago.
2 minutes.
Where she was like...
Why is Caprina... We made one, and then... Listen, I'm currently in Georgia right now.
And if you watch, like... This is her going live, so this is not... You can see a bit of her personality in these, and you can really tell, like, she's young. She is, even mentally, she has like all the things that we expect her to know and understand, right from wrong. We can't expect that from her. She is still a kid. But then you'll see her, like, go to auditions for the Bop House and whatever. It's just so weird. There should be a YouTube fight club. I'm sure that's a thing. So this is a video from yesterday, I believe. Yeah, so this is a really recent one talking about how she dropped the link. And this is, yeah, it's the weird part of, like, a kid influencer having been groomed, essentially, into this online persona that has been sexualized for many years now. That is, you know, dropping an OnlyFans link and getting that money in from all these old guys.
So over the past month, Piper Rockelle finally did the
horny men
unthinkable
on the
and dropped a
internet.
link to her paid exclusive content. A decision that we talked about the possibility of a few months ago when she initially turned 18 years old. But honestly, we didn't expect it to happen this quickly. Just f***ing kidding, we all knew this was gonna happen sooner or later. But for the past year, Piper's been collaborating with people like Sophie Rain and the Bop House extremely consistently. Filming TikToks with them on a damn near weekly basis, going on trips with them for their birthdays and whatnot, and so much more. Mind you, she even did did a lot of these things when she was only 17 years old, which is oddly creepy to think about. But to be fair, we all knew this decision had been made for a very long time. She was simply just waiting for the right time to announce it, which would prove to be November of 2025.
Piper Rockelle just put a paid
But from what I understand, it's not even an OnlyFans link. And I'm not sure that has to do with like rules and regulations from their platform. If she's like going to another platform because of avoiding rules would be crazy.
content link in her bio, and the internet is screaming, what did I just see? No warning, no soft launch, just boom. Link dropped across TikTok.
I was hoping when the Bop House said the thing about Piper wanting to, it was a joke because she was going to go down. Right, Jax? When we were looking at those auditions and we saw that one blonde girl like saying, oh no, she's underage, she needs to go. It all felt like scripted and fake later on because they were all collaborating with her for months already before that. It wasn't new. The Bop House is like an OnlyFans house. So it's like a creator house for OnlyFans people.
Instagram,
Women.
even YouTube, like she was announcing a new skincare line. And the second people
So this is how I recognize her right here. I remember seeing that video on TikTok.
clicked the profile, that's when chaos lit the whole app on fire. Because let's be honest, the
This
girl
one?
does not look grown. That's why the reaction isn't just loud, it's explosive. Comment sections turned into full-blown debates, half the internet yelling, secure the bag, queen, and the other half yelling, why does she look 12 and dropping links like she's 30? It's messy, it's confusing, and it's exactly why the algorithm
Let
is
me off
eating
this
this
planet.
up. What makes it crazier is that Piper hasn't said a single word. No statement, no clarifying, not even an emoji, just letting everybody
When it comes to those like strategies, it does feel like she's still being managed, right? But apparently not by this Hunter guy. Cause he left, right? So who's she being managed by right now?
spiral while that link sits there bold as hell in her bio like it's a casual Spotify playlist. People are stitching screenshots, zooming in, analyzing timestamps, making theories like it's CSI TikTok edition. Some swear she's trolling, some say it's a PR move, some think her management is unhinged, and others, they're just clicking and gasping.
Now, the most surprising part about all of this is the obvious hypocrisy Piper's always promoting. Over the past few months, Piper's constantly been talking about how she's trying to get closer with God, and overall become more religious and just a better person, which now we can see was complete bullshit. Even her fans looked so disappointed when she said that she dropped the link, with people commenting on this exact scenario. Piper clearly doesn't care about being closer with God, she doesn't even care about being close with her fans, because if that was the case, she wouldn't have dropped the link in
Hey Athletics, how are you?
the first place, and especially even trying to justify dropping the link.
Let's talk about Piper Rockelle dropping the link. Honestly, we all knew this was gonna happen. Like, at least give life a try first. Those photos are not just like what you would see on her Instagram. Like, no crap. You think I'm gonna be like, hey guys, go look here for spicier photos, and it's me in a sweatsuit? I don't know. I'm just not one to like be like scamming people. I'm already this far in. Look at the hate I'm getting. Might as well make the most of it.
To fans and myself, it really did look like Piper was trying to promote this type of content just through the amount of videos she made on her TikTok about her dropping the link.
Yeah.
For each video she posted on why she
She was getting that ready, man. And not just like months before, like years, unfortunately, which is just crazy.
did just that, she would also post about the tremendous amount of money she was making from it. Once again, literally just glorifying the fact that she has a link and promoting it to even more girls that follow her, which is really terrifying because we have to keep in mind the demographic of people that watch Piper Rockelle. And yes, you can make the argument that there are a lot of people that grew up watching Piper and are older now, but majority of her audience nowadays are legit children. And Piper and the rest of the Bop House are constantly instilling the fact that OF is a legit career path and a normal thing to do.
I'm gonna tell one of my dearest friends how much I made this month. Real quick to just, okay. All right, so I'm just gonna tell you how much I made this month. I don't know. Like, oh my God, I actually have some competition now. Oh my. I said I was never gonna do this. No way, shape, or form am I trying to influence you to do anything that you don't want to do. Since it's almost been a month since I made like one of the biggest decisions of my whole entire life.
Years in the making, yeah, because she was a kid influencer and her mom was like putting her in very awkward, weird sexual situations. So yeah, she was brought up around this sort of thing.
I just took that risk. I always like to say that I should have proved you guys wrong. I ruined my life. This almost month, I made...
You really thought I was about to tell you how much I made this month? Let's just say it's probably the most money I've ever had.
And personally, I don't know if I'm ever gonna say because I don't want...
I'm not gonna tell you, and you should definitely not make a decision based on this information. But it's the most money I've ever made. And then goes and says, oh, so hypocritical. Yes,
you do anything that you don't
you are influencing people to do things.
do because of the money.
Yo guys, so this was post It's Janky. I don't know what the fuck she's saying about I'm not trying to influence you guys to create an OF after she says this is the most amount of money I've ever made in my life.
Bruh.
Like the double meaning to what she said in that statement is just so fucking weird, dude. And like I mentioned earlier, Piper has made numerous TikToks over the past year promoting Bible apps, constantly saying how she's trying to become more religious, which we can see now is just a bunch of horse manure. Because obviously if this was the case, she wouldn't be dropping a link of her basically doing porn to her child audience.
Thankfully, I have Haven on my phone. I downloaded it a few months ago because I was really trying.
Maybe she was getting sponsorships from, like, religious institutions? I know. Well, which is weird, but, like, not unheard of, right?
To find my peace, and also I'm trying to get closer to my religion, and I found out that I could have a conversation with the Haven app. All I did was go to where...
Yeah, this is a sponsorship. She's going in depth about what the app does.
It says, ask me anything, and I put in very specific questions about my situation. I asked questions like, why would he do this to me? Can I ever forgive him? And I got some really, really good feedback. This day and age, it's very hard to trust people. I feel like everyone is out for themselves and no one is actually there for you. So
the fact that she would promote a Bible app and drop a link essentially right after just made fans extremely disappointed. Like, there are constant comments on all of her new TikToks about this. And I also have to say, even though she didn't drop the link right as she turned 18, what she actually did was debatably an even worse move. We all know her mind was made up a long time ago.
Yeah, she kept people hooked and then dropped it. That is weird, but it's such a tough topic to talk about because, like, yes, she might look younger, but she is, in fact, 18, right? But, like, all these OF models leaning into the, like, the kid look is definitely disgusting. Like, keeping braces on for longer than needed because of it is just, oh my god, I can't even.
Oh, and she was likely just planning on figuring out how to drop it and finding a site that would give her the best deal, because she didn't actually drop a link to an OF.
Right.
It was actually a site which I don't think anyone has ever heard of. So the most probable reason why she decided to go with this no-name site was because they probably gave her a large amount of money.
It's unfortunately the thing, Bop Rockelle. There's just there's too much demand for that type of it's horrible.
Or some sort of incentive.
I think it's more concerning that she got on there and made an address video, like addressing all this shit, and was giving a motivational speech on why you should do it, pretty much. She said, you know, today could be your last day. You never know what's gonna happen, so, you know, do what you want to do. And I'm gonna...
I mean, yeah, when you look back at her, like, whole journey, you really feel like it's all been worked on to get to where she is now. By her parents, like, well, in this case, her mother, people around her that influenced her, the path that, you know, they put her in.
Keep doing what I do because I love it. Motherfucker, you literally are saying, yo, today could be your last day, bro. Drop that OnlyFriends account, bro. Do it. It could be your last day. You don't want to go out regretting that you didn't drop that OnlyFriends link. Holy shit. And people are saying that it's free. I haven't dug into it, but if that shit is really free, oh my goodness gracious, what the fuck are we doing? And the thing, even if it isn't free, the thing that I'm, like, very concerned about is she literally does not need to do this at all. She has 18 million followers on TikTok. She could easily...
Unfortunately, that does happen, Jax.
Make social media a living if it already isn't. Like, I wouldn't be surprised with all the brand deals and all of her social media platforms combined. She is probably well over a millionaire by now. I mean, have you seen the fucking house she lives in? So she is probably more than likely a millionaire, probably a multi-millionaire. So she does not need to be doing this for the money. There's no fucking, like, reasoning behind this, and people are gonna be like, oh, well, she loves doing it. It's for the love of the game. Motherfucker, what game? There is no game to be played and no love for what game? What game exactly? People
What do you mean? Okay, I don't agree with whatever this guy's saying.
do this shit as a last-ditch effort. Like, whenever you have no other talent, which
No! Now he's saying that all sex workers or OnlyFans models or whatever it may be only go into it As a last resort? No, of course not. No, there are people who actually get off on doing this sort of stuff. They enjoy it.
Obviously has talent. She has made it very far on all of her social media platforms. So she has
Hey,
talent.
David.
She knows how to work the internet. So why? What? Like, there is literally no reasoning behind this. Like, whenever you have nothing left, this is what you do. Like, whenever you will have no other option, there's no other option except this, is what people do.
After this point, it was blatantly obvious that Piper was doing all of this just for money. But it's truly just terrible the type of content she's posting on TikTok related to it. Constantly flexing about the insane amounts of money she's made after launching the link, and if anything, just promoting this behavior and lifestyle to other girls. And I truly think that Piper Rockelle, Sophie Rain, and the rest of the Bop House constantly promoting OF as a normal career path and an okay thing to do is one of the literal worst things on the entire internet. And it truly is constantly getting worse day by day. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about the situation in the comments down below.
How about we go to TikTok? Piper Rockelle. $18 million, sounds right. Let's see what she's been posting.
Low-key all my fault. The Bop House page is taken down. I did not do that because that's just a little, what are you doing? I'm in the house, you're gonna delete every single thing that you've ever done with the Bop House. You know you're just gonna have to recreate that shit with me, right? I'm gonna stay calm, cool, and collected this whole entire trip, and I'm gonna kill everyone with kindness. Low-key all my fault.
It's my first time ever putting on like a wig professionally, so that's what I'm doing today. I came across this place from my friend Kayla, and I've been really wanting a
Hey, right. Crazy she's doing stuff like these on brand. Well, yeah, at 6, yeah, well, she's been, we went way back. Like, there's this documentary called Bad Influence, The Dark Side of Kidfluencing, and it goes way back. I had no idea when we're talking about the Bop House last night, when the last episode that we did, I had no idea that her history went back so far in terms of making content. And she started as like a pageant kid, right? And then when YouTube was an option, they just went there. It's crazy.
blonde wig. So today they're putting it on me! This is your reminder to
This was 1 hour ago. So what, is she officially in the Bop House?
Because if you love me and you did that, what else would you do?
What happened to the Bop House account? This was 4 hours ago. Holy crap. A lot of posts in one day. I hate that wig on her. Or whatever she did with her hair. Holy crap. Need punani. It's a nice house, yeah? You follow the account? I gotta be careful with the copyrighted stuff. Let me just not. Yeah, so a bunch of Bop House content. I'm guessing she moved there. Yeah, first day at the Bop House. And she just turned 18. More wigs. It's about dropping the link. Anyway, that is what she's up to nowadays. She's officially in the Bop House apparently since a few days ago. Let me see if there's any like, because I know that the Bop House also has an account. Doesn't look like they've mentioned Piper. It's sad. It is. It just feels so scummy and fake, right? Because we were watching the audition yesterday, and they seemed to be on board on the fact that, you know, she was underage when she started showing interest in joining the Bop House, and at the same time, they were all just making content with her at the same time. A hybrid of lolcows? I mean, it can definitely turn into that, right? We'll have to find an actual lolcow. What
was the, like, after the last was in you?
Camilla is one of the Bop House girls, and she's having a podcast with Bonnie Blue, which is our subject from Saturday.
Out of 1,057, what was said?
Oh my God, the guy was amazing. He came in like full of energy. Bearing in mind, he'd been waiting for 12 hours. He comes in and he was singing the whole time, singing, "You've got a friend in me." He was asking like security.
You've got a friend in
and the cameraman like, "Oh, which position shall I do?" Like, he was having the time of his life, and it was like making me smile and laugh that much that when I was trying to put his to my...
They have a YouTube channel promoting OF collabs? Yeah. Well, they go you know, they have to go all out. So the Bop House is like a whole brand in itself, and they have all the specific, like, the individual accounts of the girls. Sophie Rain Yacht. The whole compilation of her ass. Piper Rockelle, okay. They catch him cheating. Yeah, Piper has a boyfriend, which I guess is that allowed? Are OF models allowed to have boyfriends? Because then that sort of like breaks the whole thing, right? Of potentially being able to be with her.
I have Hunter has his location because, you know, when we're all together, we were like family, so we all had each other's location.
I wonder if anyone thinks, why would you be a lolcow? Please tell me more.
I do not anymore, but he's trying to find y'all. Why is he calling?
Alright, well maybe he knows that they want to meet up, so.
Hello? What?
Hello?
This was 6 months ago when she was not 18 yet. Just letting you guys know. Official Bop House content.
Yo, what's up, bro? How's your day going today?
Just don't even talk. I don't talk.
Why? What is his
problem?
Like, that's
How's your day going? Terrible because you won't stop spamming?
Stop, like, what are you doing? Fight her. No, you cannot fight people. That's never the way to violence. But she can probably use her.
Because I'm a sheepy, on the internet, very unique. I mean, if you're a doggo, can you even be a lolcow? Wouldn't you be like a lol doggo? You'd be a lol doggo.
Words. Okay, we're going. We're on the way. We'll be there in about like 10 minutes, guys. 10 minutes. Get all your friends and family to come down here and watch Little Tay do fight my fight. I don't know minutes. It's me. Oh my god.
And the weirdos, they stick together. So, like, forget the compliments. It doesn't matter how pretty she is on the outside. If she's ugly on the inside, she's ugly overall.
Why is he calling again? I don't want to answer.
He's obsessed.
Like, you're with her. Why do you keep calling me? What do you want?
Piper, Lil Tay's a bitch.
Call him back. Call him back. Give me his number, actually. As a matter of fact, give me his number. Yeah. Give me his number.
Less than 5.
Exactly.
Oh my god. How can you lie? He's saying it's AI. He is so stupid. I don't even understand.
A boy
laying down. Yeah, you're right.
You have to
I
do
just
something.
can't.
Okay, where's his chopped ass at?
Okay, I'm gonna stay right here.
You're gonna stay here? Where are they at?
It's gotten to a point where a woman just keeps herself covered is automatically of better quality. When you're looking for a girl and you go out on the first date and she's like all covered up, it's a good sign, you know? Keeping the mystery alive at the same time.
Hey, Chop Free, what's good? What's good, Chop? Oh, you running? You running? You running, Chop Free? What's good, Chop Free? You know where me and Piper just came from? Hey, why you running, scary ass? You deleted the TikTok. You're running too. Hey, you know where we just came from? Piper just got your tab removed. She got your tab removed. Hey, scary. Hey, scary ass. Hey, you don't wanna come here and have a conversation? This is really bad. I heard you just got clocked by your mama. You just got clocked by your mama.
No, what?
Your mama clocked your ass, didn't she?
She's lying on my name. You were lying on my name.
What did I lie about? You cheated?
AI.
Hey, why are you with taking men? You don't know what's going on?
I don't know why she's here.
Why are you lying to everybody? Are you lying to her too? You're lying to her, you're lying to your mama, you're lying to Piper. Your mama said you're disrespectful and she doesn't like this version of you.
Bro, it's AI, bro.
What's AI? What's AI?
Everybody's confused.
What's AI?
What is that?
Why am I here to clock your ass? Why'd you call me a
It was AI.
You really don't know how to respect women. Do you think this is okay? You're cheating, you're bragging about cheating. You're
who the hell is that? And how what is she what? Why is she dressed like an OnlyFans model too? What? What is going on?
You're lying to your mom, you're lying to your girlfriend, your ex-girlfriend now actually. She just got her tat removed. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, Capri.
That's right, scary.
Oh yeah, that girl. I mean, she has to. Look at how she's dressed.
Scary ass.
They all dress like that.
1 feet of me. Exactly. At the same damn time, huh? You are an incel.
Incel means you get no buns. I get buns.
Okay, who doesn't what? I thought, oh my god.
Yeah, at the same damn time, huh? At the same damn time. Okay, incel. Okay, incel. No, the I'm not. You want to talk about contradicting ourselves? Why are you saying cheating is okay? Everybody cheats. And then you're saying I never cheated. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I saw it on your TikTok page. Piper, where are you at though?
Why are you recording? What is happening?
Incel. Wait.
I get impressed.
Because you're.
Oh, are you gonna take that one? Honestly, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why are you hypocrite?
I'm saying like you call me a bitch, but like
I didn't call you because why are you out here calling other girls?
I did.
You did. You called Piper on the phone, and then you said Lil Tay is a bitch.
No, it's staticky. I was like, oh, Lil Tay is nice.
I know this is all looking very staged. Let me see if they're still together. Is Piper Rockelle still alive? Oh, Google. Oh, they're not together anymore, guys. They broke up in late 2024. Well, that's the AI telling me that, so I'm not sure. So this was 6 months ago.
That's what I said on my screen.
Nobody fucks with you.
This is all. I don't know what this is. They can't fool me. Crazy Miami house tour. What kind of content that they make? The Bop House stand up for Piper Rockelle and Cat. Oh, okay, so then there's a whole scandal 6 months ago about their breakup. Anyway. Yeah, so I mean, listen. So Piper has a boyfriend, right? She turns 18. She can't have that boyfriend anymore, right? Because they have to sell this whole OnlyFans situation. And it's a lot more successful if she doesn't have somebody. So yeah, they had to take care of that situation. And they can always make more content out of it. So that's what happened. That's weird. But I don't get it because I guess Piper's like focusing on TikTok then because her YouTube is like dead. Last video was from a year ago. Last live stream was from 3 months ago. But her TikTok is pretty popular. It's pretty active. Five days ago. Yes, she got demonetized. No, you're right. Right. Why would she right. No, you're right. That makes sense. I forgot about that detail. She got demonetized. Why would she be posting on there? She can just easily make another one though, right? They could easily lie and say they're single, but not really. I mean, that could be the case still too, right? But for the camera, they gotta break up. Six days ago. 1 week ago. All right. We have links? Kinda scared. Okay. Holy. Chat with me? I'm scared. I'm not gonna click that. TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitch. Which? 9 months ago. Couples therapy.
That I'm proud of you and that you're gonna get entertained and you're gonna have.
And Kick as well? We'll check Kick. Might be more active on there.
I don't know. But I just want to say, I love you. What was I talking about?
They're doing couples therapy over a Discord call.
Sorry for that. But the way you acted was a little like, it was a little crazy. I mean, like you were.
Wait, 9 months ago.
Stuff and like that's crazy. Like you hurt your finger because you were like going all crazy. And people in my comments are like, he actually really loved you, Piper. Like, why would you do that? He really loved you. But how was I supposed to know that? Like, how did they know?
Yeah, that failed.
Loved me? Like, how does anybody know that? Like, people are
Also, when you do couples therapy, there's gotta be a mediator.
you're not clearing my name at all or saying like anything to help my.
It looks like he's playing a game. Is he playing a game?
That's all I'm trying to say. That's why I think that today, you know, we have the therapist. We're gonna figure this out. We're gonna work.
Oh, they have a therapist.
Okay, it's your turn to talk.
Bro, first off, Piper, my shit is not
FaceTime.
working, bro. My shit is not working, bro.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's not
okay.
working.
Bro,
It's
this is
not
actually annoying, bro. Bro.
Had a lot of fun. Like I felt that like spark. Like I felt, you know, just happy all the time when I and stuff like that. And I don't know. Maybe I was in the wrong, but
Who is that?
Ground rules, okay? Let's try not to talk over each other. Let's take our time when we're talking so that each of us can hear each other, all right? That's really important. It's really important to be heard by each other. So why don't you start and just tell me, like, I know a little bit about the situation, but why don't you go ahead and explain it to me a little bit?
okay. Well, basically, situation is that
It's very low. I can't hear any louder.
thing.
Is that like a therapist? At first I thought it was her mom, but I don't think it is, right?
And I responded to it, and things were just going really well. I think he asked me on Snapchat or something. We started talking on Snapchat. Things were going really well. We were, you know, just like I kind of know if I'm gonna bond someone like with someone like right away, and I just kind of knew I was like bonding with him right away.
Okay.
So we started talking, and then he said that he was coming out to LA, and I was like, okay, that's really fun. And like he was like, we should hang out and stuff, and I was like, okay, that's amazing. And we kind of planned this whole entire thing, and then he came out. We hung out. We had a great time. But majority of it, I'm not talking well.
It's okay, take your time.
Majority of it was on like camera and stuff like that, and like I just felt like things were different, like off camera and stuff like that. And I don't know, maybe I was in the wrong. But the other day I made a TikTok basically just saying I miss an era in my life of when I was with my first ever boyfriend when I was literally 12. Like we weren't even like in love or anything like that. Like I mean, first love, but like not like actual love. Like he was just like my first boyfriend. I was literally 11 years old, and this kid has always been kind of like in my life since then. I'm 17 now, so I hung out with him the other day after I posted that TikTok about him and missing him, and Capri really did not appreciate it, and Capri thinks that I cheated on him, but what I thought, we were never together, and I'm sorry that I didn't know that we were in a talking stage, and I shouldn't have done that.
Okay. All right, Capri, tell me your version.
I don't think he can tell you your version. His stuff is not working.
We can hear you a little bit.
It's crazy.
Because of making that video, you brought him on there. Is that why? Or you brought him on there for backup support?
Right? It's weird that she's on her end of things.
I didn't bring you on to do that, you know?
Well, I would say
Guys,
this is one thing that I would say is okay. The thing about an apology is that when someone says that they are sorry, it is.
She talks like an actual therapist, so she probably is.
Clear the board, as long as it's sincere. And I will say that I believe Piper. I think that she understands that she didn't I don't feel like she had any malice behind her bringing Gavin here.
I'm gonna interject and say.
Yo, Gavin?
Did you?
Was Gavin the boyfriend?
Okay. Well, then own it and say you're sorry.
When she was 12?
I'm sorry for bringing him here, and I think that
the one that her mother sexually assaulted?
Oh boy.
Is this his cry suit?
Oh my gosh.
Why you gotta hide yourself? Acting like a little cartoon character with big old ginormous boobies.
Big old ginormous boobies. Hey, Xavier, thank you so much for the $9.99. I appreciate you. How are you doing? We are talking about Piper Rockelle. What's the wet? Oh gosh. Where's Kick? Didn't you guys say you saw Kick? Are you sure she's on there? I'm scared to click anything that I don't know what it is, you know? I don't want to be like see nudes or half nudes or whatever. He's a disrespectful little shit. I'm scared to even click Instagram. I'm guessing the like link that everyone's talking about is this one? The chat with me? Yeah, we're not gonna click anything. But yeah, that's Piper Rockelle. I think there's a lot more to look into, like this Hunter guy and her mom and how she influenced and what their relationship is right now. There's probably, but they talked about a bunch of interviews with the mother to see her perspective. I would actually like to hear her talk because throughout this whole session, we've mostly heard from other people accusing the mom of things. And so we haven't really heard from the mother much. Tiffany, right? Is that Tiffany Rockelle? The truth about Tiffany Rockelle, answered by ex-squad members. Accused of financial exploitation 2 years ago. Oh, wow. That was like when she was 16. Piper Rockelle arrest prank. Gavin exposes Tiffany's mom 6 years ago.
Here's the story. True as it gets.
I'm guessing this is Gavin's mom, right?
Had Piper in a music video. Gavin had produced it. It's his song. Crushin' is not Piper's song. And they did a video together. She had 800,000. He had 180,000. That doesn't matter. She had other boys in her videos. Just for some reason, I don't know why. It doesn't matter. Maybe because her and Gavin just made this cute couple. She blew up. He blew up. It started a whirlwind in our family of 2 or 3 times a week. They're doing videos. It's almost like, I don't know, the kids probably had even an addiction. You know, Gavin really liked Piper, had a huge crush on her. It was fun. It was really fun. For a couple months, those kids, man, they had a lot of fun. There was a lot of drama. Her mom would get mad at kids and they were just gone. Gavin got brainwashed that all the kids were bad. Kids are just kids. I don't know why kids got kicked out of squads. We fell for it. We drank the juice, totally guilty. And at the end of the day, all I wanted to do was kind of get out of it. But the Gavin Paven train was on a path. So Gavin stayed over at her house a lot. And, you know, a couple times as a mom, I feel really bad because I saw signs of things, and I'm getting this out now because none of you know this.
Right. So you knew you knew that things were happening. You just let it happen. You saw the signs and you didn't do anything.
I saw signs of crazy on the other side. Not talking about kids.
It's crazy how same dude, same Doge. I never heard about these things like the squad, Piper Rockelle as a kid influencer. Like, I've not heard about any of these. Then again, I was never much of a YouTube person. So a lot of this stuff just like flew by, you know?
I have witnessed Piper's mom jumping out of cars, calling me, telling me to come get my effing kid, and they're all hiding in closets. She was highly controlling. Yeah. Hundreds of texts to my son, him begging Tiffany, can I please work with you? Begging her, I am so sorry, I'll never go to another event. I won't talk to Coco. I won't talk. I'll block Corinne. It was so uncomfortable, guys, and disturbing. His dad got involved very, very recently, probably like 2-3 weeks ago. And then Gavin got a little bit, started to come out with things that we didn't know.
Oh, okay. So the father got involved, and then you felt pressure to just say something about it. Okay.
No. I
see what happened. Yeah, the dad was maybe, I don't know if they not live in the same house or something, you know, because the way that she talks, she doesn't say my husband, she says her dad, right? So maybe they didn't live together, and her dad was sort of alerted to the situation. He was like, okay, what's going on here? And then all of a sudden, she feels pressure to say something too. Otherwise, it looks really bad, right? That's what it looks like right now, at least.
Tell you those things that we do not know. They are not lies. They are all over his text messages.
Oh, you checked his text messages, did you? Hey, receipts. Yeah, we were in a different bubble, for sure.
He is dealing with severe stress and anxiety because every single week she would call him, and she, not Piper, her mom, and say, we're not working with you anymore. We don't like you anymore. We just hate you for some reason because she's, I don't know, not a very nice person, in my opinion. Gavin was so disturbed, guys. And if you all are going to spread hate instead of positivity, I really don't know what to even say. He's a 12-year-old kid that went through a lot over there in that family. And I pulled him away like your parents would do. Now, let's talk about how this got out of control. So we were going to do an exit video together. And basically, instead of doing the exit video, one day I open up Instagram and she takes all her daughter's pictures down with Gavin. So because she takes all the pictures down, you guys, of course, are going to go, oh my God, what happened?
Choked on milk.
If you noticed on Gavin's Instagram, we haven't taken anything down. That's just immature. So then you guys are all like, oh my God, what happened? Then Piper puts out a video that she's crying against a window. Guys, again, I have nothing against kids, but Gavin's been around her a million times where her mom's making her cry. Cry to this, cry to that. Gavin's been told, you need to look like you're more upset. You need to cry. I hate to come out with this, but at this point, I really don't care. So to continue the story, I called up her manager and I said, we are no longer going to be working with you because I asked Gavin to show
her manager. manager, which I'm guessing is Hunter?
Me all his texts. It was over after I saw him. Forget the text to me, the FUs to me, and all the horrible things and control that she had on our family that I fell for. You know, my daughter's bigger. You got to do this. Everything was about control, control, control. I don't hate Piper. I feel sorry for her. We will no longer be controlled by the Rockelles. We will no longer stay quiet. No longer. Gavin's anxiety did not exist before he got involved in this. Now he barely wants to do YouTube. So when you guys are getting upset over crying against a window and looking up in the sky and then saying that Gavin, when he was just having fun, didn't even know about her video, was singing a song. If you guys are going to be and put hate pages on Gavin, I'm reporting every single one of them. Even the one, I don't care who was on Piper's account, hashtag unfollow Gavin, hashtag we won't follow you anymore. That's all bullying. And Instagram has been alerted of everything. My contact on Instagram. This didn't work with her anymore. Her mom has turned this into, so you'll hate on my boyfriend. I know you guys watch this.
I wonder if she's gonna talk about the sexual comments from Tiffany towards Gavin.
And believe them, but they were all just made up drama, just like this is. So now this is real life, and this is a real kid with real feelings that's in 6th grade. So you guys do the hashtag positivity. We're on day 3 of it. Hashtag positivity, hashtag love Gavin, hashtag stop the hate. I have never seen anybody like I'm doing that didn't even happen. None of it happened, guys. I know you want to believe it, but absolutely none of it happened. Sorry, there's no drama. There's like, Tiffany wants to have drama. If you're out there, stop the drama. It's stupid. Stop your craziness. Gavin did nothing but work 13-hour days for her. And if you want to know who probably used who, I mean, listen, Gavin could have had any pretty girl in his video. Honestly, he could have had anybody. He chose Piper. She was in the video. Gavin sang the song. It got 12 million views. How many views did her Christmas song get? Exactly. The point I'm trying to make here, guys, is this: not to make fun of anybody, not to hurt anybody, but to let you know that Gavin is pretty gosh darn talented. Okay, and you guys should all go to Jam Jr. and follow it, because today he's gonna have a little Nas cover song and it's gonna be killer. Anyways, so at the end of the day, stop hating, stop hating, stop. Hashtag
this is so weird. They're talking about a 12-year-old kid.
Positivity. All doesn't even want to be on this earth anymore. Did you guys ever think about that before you spread all this hate? Did you guys ever think about a 12-year-old kid that's begging me to make this stop? Did you guys ever think about that? No. Because you guys are all out there believing all these lies and rumors. And no matter how many times I say hashtag positivity, there's more every freaking single day. You know, texts don't lie. Texts don't lie, but I'm not putting them out there. I'm not going to do it because somehow people do this little texting thing where they make up stuff. So now Piper fans are making up texts that I said bring down Piper's. Listen, guys, you don't know me, but the one thing about me is I am Gavin's mom, and I'm going to protect him every single day on this live until it goes away. But I will tell you something. Yeah, that's the sick text that mom would send to Gavin. We don't like you anymore. We don't want to work with you anymore. But what she didn't realize is that she needs somebody sick that I even fell for it. But every single time, she doesn't even know what she's going to see. And I'm not threatening. I'm the doorman. Gavin, he can meet you on the street, and he would give you a shout out. He doesn't keep his circle small and, oh my gosh, we can't go to any events and we can't talk about her mom. We're awful. And then she brings Sophie back. And who knows how long that will last, guys. We need stability here. They need stability. They need to figure out what they're doing. But at the end of the day...
Is this live stream on Instagram?
I will not tolerate hate that come from text to kids. Way growing. He's not. And he should grow. When Sophie disappeared, guys, think about this. Be logical. Why do people disappear from their family? Why do they go away? As a parent, I hold Gavin at night, and I talk to him, and I let him cry. But I don't say, hold on, let me get the camera. I don't get his friends to do it. Connor is not going to do that. Text exchange back and forth.
Yeah, the filters, right? They make everything so much less serious. It's so hard to see past it.
I think even Piper said, I know my mom, I know what my mom does, I know how she is, but she loved you. And she's a kid, she doesn't know. But the bottom line is, everyone knows how she is. There's no, on a verified account, told people, you just on our street, and all night long, their editor texted us, we're fixing it. If that was me and Piper's address got leaked, guess what I'd do? Just everybody guess right now. I'd take it down. And it's not about greed or money. I would take it down because that's the right thing to do.
I don't understand. Well, she doesn't talk about the sex stuff at all. I'm guessing maybe Gavin didn't understand what's going on. It's very possible. Gavin Magnus. Let's see if he has a TikTok. 8 million? Do you think that's him? Does that look like the same? Kinda. It does, doesn't it? It does look like that. Like the kid. Seems like he's doing well. He seems to still be doing the music stuff. He's with someone. Yeah, but that does look like him. Okay, well, it seems like he's doing well. I would like to hear his like opinion about everything. Do you think they interviewed him? Gavin Magnus. Interview! Show me interview! 7 years ago, that's not the one. Didn't Piper say that she like contacted him? Might be absolutely Belcourt. I would not blame him for that. He made an old video about the situation a couple years ago. Okay, let's see if we can find that. Gavin and Piper got matching tattoos? 5 months ago? Excuse me, what?
We did hear that you have matching tattoos with Piper.
I do, yeah.
Where did you think that was a good idea?
It's literally like the audio waves of my first ever like official song that I released. So technically, it's more of like, why did she get that tattoo?
Right.
One day they called me and they were like, would you be down to get like matching tattoos on stream? And I was like, I'm 18 now and I'll literally get anything tattooed on my body.
I like your new song, I'm locked in.
Yeah, what does that even mean?
The premise of the song is like, I'm locked in. Then I talk about my relationships and I'm like, oh, I want you, I want her.
Who is her?
I can name them all. Piper, I want to hear it. Coco Quinn, Gigi Wonder, Piper Rockelle.
Yeah, so she couldn't even name half.
Oh, Giada. I'm sorry, was that a...
It is officially July, which means we have 4 more. Yeah, we did hear that you have matching tattoos with Piper.
I do, yeah.
Man.
I do.
Inspirational. Why'd you do
that?
Was that's recent. Because she's your ex, right?
Quite the. Well, yeah, she's my ex.
So where does that?
But
where did you think that was a good idea for?
Here's the thing. Well, first of all, it was a good idea because content. Second of all, it was a good idea because it was the song that blew me up. It's my song.
Wait, what's it say?
It's literally like the audio waves of my first ever like official song that I released. So technically, it's more of like, why did she get that tattoo?
Right. She's the weird one.
But no, I mean like we got a matching tattoo and basically one day they called me and they're like,
who the hell are all these people? I know, I understand. I didn't know about them either. This is me getting introduced to all this content for the first time as well.
Hey, would you be down to get?
But Gavin was part of the squad that Piper was in, and they were in a supposed relationship. I'm not sure how deep it was. They were 12 years old after all. So it was mostly probably for the cameras.
Like matching tattoos on stream. I was like, I'm 18 now and I'll literally get anything tattooed on my body, so don't tempt me.
Anything?
And they were, yeah, like literally anything.
Like our logo?
I would get it somewhere. I'll be like on my leg though. Like I'd get it like up here.
Wow, you'd be the second person to get the logo tatted on you.
Have you guys had people tattoo?
Yeah, a dad showed up to one of our shows, and he said if we say his daughter's name on the pod, he'll get a tat. And so we said her name on the pod, and then he got a giant bicep, huge bicep. He got a giant bicep tattoo. I've heard that line. Piper, do you remember our song?
Okay. Why I left full story. What?
The last time you saw me on this channel, things were different. I've disappeared for a long time, and today I've come on to tell you why. Now, I know a lot of you guys might be thinking the first thing that might be coming to your head is, Gavin, you've made this video 20 million times, and Gavin, you said this 60,000 times, million, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I get it, and I understand that. But these reasonings are a little bit different. And things have changed, and I've switched lanes, and YouTube just simply wasn't a lane I decided to keep driving in. I know a lot of you guys have been telling me to post on this channel and make YouTube videos again, but to be fair, this is just something I'll never go back to. That's just not me. Never was.
Okay, so it is about the Piper situation.
We obviously already know that. I'm just stating the obvious here, kind of. But mainly there's some things that I wanted to talk about. Because I have 7 million subscribers on YouTube. And some of those 7 million people might not know where else to find me, or might not have any other platforms but YouTube. And this was brought to my attention, and someone told me and recommended to me that I should make this video just to be clear, let everybody know on this platform, in a sense of feels like which I've abandoned, what's going on. So first and foremost, I just want to say, I did not abandon my YouTube channel. I know it may seem like it, but in reality, think of it more of like, I kind of switched jobs. YouTube wasn't really fun anymore. The content that I was making wasn't content that I wanted to make. And I started posting on Snapchat, Instagram, and TikTok. TikTok now being my biggest platform, which, thank you guys. It kind of felt like...
Is that so? Yeah, 8 million, I could see that. I could see that. Pursuing the music path. Doing the... Wait! Okay, okay. If he isn't careful, he's gonna get roped right back in. This was busted. This was August, which is when she turned 18. Oh, they might have tried to rope him back in, but he's in a like committed relationship, so I don't think he went for it. As you can see later on, you know, he didn't go for it. Oh, there's some more though. This was October. They're basically saying that they're friends. They were just celebrating her 18th birthday. Oh no. I mean, that is a lot of videos. This is a compilation of many of them, right? So I guess they are, to a degree, in each other's lives. But it's weird seeing this because her mother's in a lot of trouble. Her mother did certain things, made certain comments to him when he was 12 years old, and she's still associated with her mom, defending her. It's such a weird, awkward situation, isn't it? Oh my god, it goes so deep. I don't even know to what extent they're just doing this for like marketing purposes. Because they're doing a lot of videos together. Well, I think we're gonna call it here, guys. I'm gonna look into it some more and prepare some videos for the next time. See if there's anything else to dive into. I think a lot of you feel the same way as I do, in the sense that I think the parents or interviews with the parents could be interesting, specifically Tiffany Rockelle. They're just roommates. They're just roommates. If the mother was making moves on him, shouldn't he get like a restraining order? I mean, it was when he was 12, so that was like what, 6 years ago. It looks like not even the mom was talking about it when they exposed the whole situation, so I don't know the extent of it. I think what I could also do is go through the Netflix documentary series, because apparently it goes a little bit more explicit than the guy was willing or comfortable to go in that first video that we watched earlier. So I'll look into it. I'll see where we should take this next time. I think trying to see what's gonna happen with Tiffany is gonna be interesting. Time to take a bleach bath. Good stream. Thank you for appreciating it, Belcora. I know that these are difficult topics sometimes, right? But I think at the same time, you know, even though we feel like taking a bleach shower afterwards, it feels like it's good to talk about, to be aware of what's going on and what the path is that people are taking. Hey, Galaxy! It goes really deep in the doc. Yeah, I might have to watch it then before our next session. I'm thinking about doing an LCU related stream soon as well, to try to like mention some of the things that have been going on there. So we might do that soon as well. So keep an eye out. Make sure that you hit that bell for notifications, and I keep you guys updated on Twitter as well as Discord. Discord link is in the description if you guys want to join. Everyone's welcome in the server. And then if you're a subscriber or a member to the channel, you also get access to specific channels to go further into detail about all kinds of subjects that you guys enjoy. But for now, we're gonna head out. Let me see if I can redirect. Let's see who's live. You guys have any suggestions? Let's see. It'll tell me who's on from my circle. We have Nathan. We had the Huggy Show. Yes, let's go say hi to the Huggy Show. He's live right now. They're talking about LOLcow Quitters Demon Edition. Let's go say hi to the Huggy Show, all right? He's pretty cool. He does videos more than he does live streams, so this is cool. Let's go say hi. Hey, Patrick. Well, nice to know that you're a fan. Definitely check back, guys. I'll be live again soon. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for the support. I appreciate you. I'll see you soon. Bye.